Kit Richards, welcome to Kickin Gags.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
So people will know you, or we're going to try to tell people about Scandal the Musical, which is something that I stumbled across. I didn't stumble across. I got recommended from Matt Stewart, friend of the pod. So I'll let you give the premise of it. It was a show in 2021.
21, yeah.
Yeah, at the 2021 festival.
Yeah, the full title is Scandal, a reflection on Essendon's Doping, Saga, the musical.
Love it.
Which is pretty much the premise in the title.
Yeah.
But I think the hook is that I am a mad Essendon supporter, so it is very biased.
Yes.
I don't try to two-sided at all. I'm just like, no, they didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah. I think it's impossible to do anything in footy for me, at least, to do anything to do with footy without through the lens of the team that you support.
100%.
Because I work with a bunch of journalists and they all they're pretty objective.
Yeah.
But I could never write an article about another team without slipping in these guys are actually dicks.
Yeah.
So I respect that a lot.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to. Because for me, that's what really interested me is how because what would I do if my team got caught up in a doping scandal? I had no idea how to react. I probably would eventually try to do some hour-long musical or weird art piece about it, which I would find really fun. So how did that come about? How did you decide to do that and dedicate it? How long was the writing process for that?
Well, I was meant to do it in the 2020.
Yes.
And so I started writing it maybe midway through 2019.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened.
Oh,
and then I know. And then I didn't really look at it for any of the lockdowns. And then when Comedy Festival was confirmed for 2021, I was like, all right, I'll get back into it again, because I was just like, I had some thoughts, and I think it was better because I had that extra year to think about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's sort of where that's how long the writing process was.
Yeah.
As for the idea, so I guess my shtick is that I do musicals about very obscure topics.
Yeah.
And my first musical was about the Australian wool industry and the history of it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, what else is silly that I know that I know a lot about?
The two silliest things
that I
wool,
doping. Yeah. Well, I think, I was like, what is a really funny topic because it's a really dark topic, and it's a really thing that a lot of people have a lot of opinions about.
Wait, wool or Essendon?
Both. No,
yeah.
Essendon. But I think I was like, it's kind of funny to do a musical about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you obviously came from that, that drama student sort of background thing, because you guys are a whole different breed. I'm more stand up, and then there's that whole other breed of drama kid, improv, theatery. Oh no, improv and theater are a bit different. But
different, yeah.
Yeah.
I was more in the improv side of things, right?
Okay,
but I did do all the musicals in high school, and
right.
I do have a theatre diploma.
Yeah.
So,
oh, okay. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how old would you have been when 2012 was it? So it's when that whole thing
20.
Hit. So you're obviously, and I mean you'll find out in the show if you watch it, that your whole family, or your dad specifically, is a really diehard Essendon fan that just sort of runs in your blood. That's definitely one of the main points. Yeah.
Dad told me that one of my my great grandma or something was at the very first ever Essendon game back in the 18 whatevers. So we're from the beginning, OG
right.
fans.
Yeah. So you get that. So when the scandal hits. You are early 20s or something?
Yeah, 20 I think, or 19. Yeah.
So you've got that whole lifetime of loving this club, and really even at that point it's pretty successful, because you would have seen the 2000 grand final. Do you have memories of that?
Vague.
Okay.
Yeah, I think because my dad works as an animator. And so I think we were in.
Whoa.
I know.
Yeah. Cool.
If I wanted to
I do too, but anyway.
I've always said if I wanted to be an animator, I could have been a great Nepo baby, but unfortunately for me, I can't draw. But yeah, so Dad worked a lot around Australia, so he travelled around a lot. So I think I was in Adelaide with Mum and he flew down for the grand final.
Yeah,
and
right.
then we like decorated the house.
Yeah,
to be
okay.
like, in Essendon colours for when he got back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I sort of have vague memories of it.
Yeah.
But I wasn't really into the footy until I was 15.
Right.
So
Okay.
when we started to go downhill, I think.
I can jump on board this.
Yeah.
It's a bit more relatable.
Yeah.
I think my so obviously I was a D supporter. Like I reckon because we haven't had the best history for the past 60 years until very recently.
Yes.
But I remember one of the lowest points. A lot of people think that it's that Geelong game where we lost by 186 points. It was our lowest point. And it definitely was. But I remember one of the more formative memories, because I wasn't at that game.
Yep.
I remember going to the, I think it was 2016, it was round 2, when the D's lost to the Essendon top-up team. After. So I think that was the year when you all got, all you guys got banned or whatever.
Yeah.
And then we basically lost to a VFL side.
Yeah.
And that is a formative memory that sticks in. And I remember, the reason I remember it is because at the start of the game, I did a panning shot on my Snapchat of can't wait to beat these guys. And then that Snapchat memory pops up every year or so.
Like Icarus, you flew too close to the sun. Yes.
Yeah.
On the flip side, I think we only won about 2 or 3 games that year, and that was a really good day for me. Because I think me and Dad, I joined when I was 15. I became a member. He's been a member since before I was born. Yeah. And then we went to every single game that year.
Wow.
Still.
Wait, every single game during the
top-up season, yeah.
Wow. I mean, I don't even we're in the best form that Melbourne has ever been in the past 3 years. And I don't think I've been to every game. That's pretty insane. Yeah. So every home game, obviously.
Every home game, yeah.
How nuffy do you get at a game? Do you are you decked out? Do you have the badges? Because I feel the badges are the sign of that's just that next level nuffy.
Yeah, no.
You don't have badges?
No.
Okay.
I got a scarf, obviously. Yeah. Sometimes I wear a hat if it's sunny or if it's cold. Yep. I do have a jersey, but I never wear it. Yeah. I feel I don't know. I feel as soon as I'm not within the grounds or
it's weird.
It's weird.
It is weird. Yeah.
I'm just and I'm not very I'm very shy in public as well. So I'm just I don't want anyone talking to me.
You don't want to have that conversation on the train or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't want some opposition supporter being oh, you guys suck or whatever. So I'm no.
I don't know if that's ever happened though.
It's never ever happened.
I've never even seen that happen.
No.
Usually if I do get into random conversations about footy, but usually that's just supportive.
Yeah, I know.
It's a fun conversation. No, that's fair enough. I have I have Guernseys and stuff, but I just whenever I put it on, I'm this is fit for a athlete in the prime of their playing career. This is, it's just not flattering. Yeah. And then you go to a game and every other person, every fucking 40-year-old fat dude that wears a Guernsey, I'm I'm not going to be part of that club. I don't think. But I do wear it at home sometimes. Yeah, yeah. Do you, if you're watching at home, do you still wear colours? Yeah.
I think during lockdown I bought a cotton on jumper and tights set that say Essendon on them, and I can't wear them out of the house for the same reason. So just
pajamas or
almost like pajamas. Yeah,
right. Just comfortable at home Friday night footy.
Yeah, exactly.
Essendon's playing in Adelaide or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I relate to that. So
yeah.
I kind of want one of those.
Yeah.
They do Melbourne ones, right?
Yeah, I think it was a partnership where they did all of them.
Okay. Yeah.
I've been very tempted to get an hoodie. An Essendon hoodie.
I keep getting the targeted ad for that where it's an hoodie and in a footy.
Yeah.
Oh man, it looks so lame, but I know. Definitely get one.
It's that thing of just I do love being warm.
Yeah. Yeah.
But can I go that step further?
Could you wear it to are you meant to wear them to the footy?
No, I think you're meant to wear them on the couch.
Right.
Home. You probably could wear them to the footy.
People would definitely be wearing them to the footy.
It hasn't got that cold yet.
Yeah, so, right. Yeah. I'll see.
Yeah.
So I live a step away from the MCG, so I'm trying to go to as many games as possible.
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to spot a person wearing a hoodie.
Yeah.
So the show. So back to Scandal. writing it, how much did you do like research? Because like I feel like your first draft or whatever is just like your experience of living through that saga as a fan or whatever. But did you go deeper into because like I don't really read that many articles. I know I work for a footy website, but I don't read that many articles.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever read a footy book. Like,
No.
What was your research process?
So I think I did like a brainstorm mind map of what I remember, because to be honest, I also blocked a lot of it out.
Yeah.
Because it was like, it's one of those things where you're like, yeah, footy's like, it's like a silly thing, you know, like a lot of my friends are artists or whatever, and they're just like, and the ones who don't understand it are just like, oh, like it's just football, like why do you care kind of thing. But I'm like, it's the same as why we care about anything. You know, it's a community, it's like something to do, it's like somewhere where you feel like you're part of something. Yeah. And so when that gets disrupted, it's really like you don't want to think about it. So I sort of had blocked out a lot of it. So I read a book by a journalist called Chip Legrand.
Is that the one you referenced in the show? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. The Straight Dope is what it's called. And
Great title.
Great title. Yeah. And that gives a full account from like the start all the way to the end. And I think it also mentions the Cronulla Sharks a bit, because we didn't care because we don't give a shit about NRL. I don't.
I also work for an NRL website, and this is the first time I reckon I've heard of the Cronulla Sharks being engaged in a doping scandal. Anyway.
Yeah, well, it was the same guy, Stephen Dank, went to...
Actually, I did know that. Yeah,
the Cronulla Sharks and did the same.
Wasn't there also a little thing where he was at Melbourne?
I think so.
But it kind of just, I think, because we were so fucked anyway, they just kind of like, look, you guys have enough to deal with. We're going to pin this all on Essendon.
I think it was because they had the most evidence. And I did that in inverted commas for the listeners at home.
For the listeners,
on Essendon. So I think they were the easier ones to go for. But I think the doggies had a little bit of something as well.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Ooh. I know. Timeline, was that would have been obviously before that. Before their rise to fame. And that was like, I mean, not to dig up the past and make it feel bad, but it's please. Like it like you guys were looking real. I remember Essendon looking like a really good team at the time, like on the sort of on the rise. Like he had that list of like, Job. I remember like because we got Hibbert and Melksham out of that.
Yeah. R.I.P. for me.
That's a really good time.
I loved Melksham.
And I still like. Yeah. Do you still follow him, kind of thing? Like
only when we play. I'm one of those like bad AFL supporters where I only really follow my own team.
Oh, that's literally every AFL supporter. And I'm starting to see it now. It's like now that I'm like in part of the AFL media landscape, in the little part that I am. But yeah, it's so hard to. There's 9 games every week. Nobody's watching every game and following every team.
No, unless that's literally your full-time job.
Yeah, but even then, like I don't know. I probably shouldn't be saying this because that kind of throws all the journalists under the bus. They do a lot of hard work. Yeah, they work weekends. It's fine. Yeah. What were we talking about? Yeah, so. We got Hibbert and Melksham out of that. Yeah. I think you lost you lost how many players and stuff. But that was like if you look at that list, it's like this is a really good list.
I know. Yeah. But the one good thing to come out of it was that's when we got Anthony McDonald, Tip and Woody.
Right.
His first game was in 2016, I'm pretty sure.
That was it was.
Because he was one of our top up players or VFL or came from somewhere or and everyone was just like, thank God for this guy.
There's you have one shining light. I think I remember him from that game where you beat us. And I'm like, man. Yeah. And then, So that whole period so let's say after 2016. Yeah. Essentially to before Brad Scott, that whole period of where he's like, I don't know what was happening with Essendon and that. Like, it's just like you could beat some teams and then you were just like, you're just middling essentially.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, like you just didn't have the right thing. Like, how do you feel about yours now with Brad Scott? Like,
I think the best way to say how I feel about it is I was convinced we were going to lose to West Coast.
Wow.
Last week.
Oh, wow. You got damaged?
Yeah. Within the first half, I was like, when we were only 10 points ahead, even though I knew we looked better, I was like, they're going to do some crazy shit and
Yeah.
pull something out of their butts.
Yeah.
And I was like nervous until the very
Yeah.
And same with the Tigers the week before. I was like, there's no way. Like, I think a lot of people did, but in the fourth quarter, I was like, there is no way we're going to win this.
That's like St Kilda fan vibes.
Yeah.
Like, to just, like, have no faith in
Yeah.
thing. Because, like, I mean, neutrals, as a neutral, I feel like you guys are pretty, and because you beat us.
Yeah.
And I'm still really upset about that. I was really upset at the time. No, I'm more upset about it now, I think, because we've lost to other good teams.
Yeah.
Considering you guys are a good team, just so you know.
Thank you.
But yeah, like that, I think I was Gather Round or something, and you guys just looked like amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you guys, I reckon you're a good team. I reckon you're good. You should be playing. You'll be playing finals this year. I feel like.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I think I can definitely see a difference with Brad Scott. Coming
like
in.
a game plan.
Yeah, a game plan. They're actually like defending properly.
Yeah, your like list structure actually. Like, it looks like so usually when a new coach comes in and they like reshuffle stuff, but like you kind of look like a full list. Like you have all the role players in the right spots already, and it's kind of really annoying because I'm like, you shouldn't be that at that point yet. Like because I have a little bit of Schadenfreude, I think, from that game where you beat us, like with a top-up team. Yeah. And like when things aren't going that well for Essendon, it is kind of fun for me. So I am kind of upset. I'm a little bit salty still, like from just a lot. And I think it started because when I remember when I first started going for the Ds was I think that 2000 grand final because my sister goes for Essendon.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and like. That's sort of when I just like came online and started paying attention to footy. I'm like, I'm going to go for the Ds because you go for Essendon. Anyway, so I haven't. There's a little bit. I'm just digging up a lot of emotional issues that I didn't realize I had about Essendon until right now.
That's okay.
Yeah.
I wrote a whole show about it.
So how is that like? So you have friends obviously that aren't into footy. Do you get embarrassed like? Having to explain how much you love footy and how obsessed you are with it, like because I do sometimes. Yeah. I'm just like, I can't. Sometimes I can't believe how much a game of football will like ruin my week, like my entire week, all year, essentially. Yeah. Like, do you have that?
Yeah, sometimes it depends. We've had some losses. I think Collingwood last year. When they in Anzac Day, when I think they kicked a goal like right after the siren
Jamie
and won
Elliott,
it, something like that.
Amazing.
And I was just like, I was so depressed for like a week.
Yeah.
But it's just like it's those games. And me and Dad had this conversation recently where we find that if we go to the game, we don't feel it as much for some reason. I think it's because it's like we're in the members section, we're surrounded by other people who are screaming and yelling and crying way more than we are. Yeah, so I'm just sort of like, all right.
Yeah.
That's someone else is dealing with that.
We're not that, at least.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
I'm not
I feel kind of shitty, but I'm not that guy.
Yeah, exactly.
I get that the most with like Carlton supporters because like I don't know if you listen to Talkback Radio, but there was I don't know when this is going to go up, by the way, but like this is right after Carlton lost to I can't remember who they lost to recently. But there was a guy on the radio that just like went mental and he was like, you got to play for the emblem. Like, I don't think I would ever get to that level where I'm like calling into Jared Waitley to complain.
To me, that's a symptom of something else in his life.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Like, but that's, so there was one line that sort of stuck out to me in the musical. Like, I think the biggest laugh for some reason that I got out of it was like, what was it? Is like, it's how I connect with men. Like, footy's how I connect with men. Yeah. And I was just like, me too. Like,
I have so many friends who have like normal in inverted commas boyfriends. Yeah. Who, whenever I meet them, I'm like, all right, who do you support? Yeah. Let's do this. It's all we got. It's all we've got.
Yeah. Like that's the thing. And like, that's the thing. Dudes go through that too. It's like, you just put in situations like you're at a house party or whatever, and like you're just like surrounded by a bunch of people you don't really know. I'm like, the footy. We'll just talk about footy. Like it's so safe. Like
so safe.
And then when someone doesn't follow footy, you're like, fuck, all right.
I know.
I don't know. Flat Earth? What do you got?
Yeah. What do you think? Flat or round?
Yeah. Disc, right? It's both. Yeah. So, all right. So, also, we'll come back to footy, but I only just found that out right before we started filming that you also work for Hard Quiz.
Yes.
Which is like amazing. Like I did half fill out an application to go on at some point.
Yep. What was your topic?
Well, I think when I was filling it out, I think it was season 2 of Community. Have you ever seen Community?
Yeah.
But I reckon I have this conversation like every time I go to trivia or like just at the pub everywhere. It's like just ask people what their hard quiz topic would be. And I'm going to assume yours would be something to do with Essendon, right?
It would probably either be the Essendon Football Club.
Yeah.
Because they wouldn't let me do the scandal on its own because...
Oh, you couldn't?
It's too specific.
Really? I thought it had to be specific.
No, it's like, if you look at some topics, like sometimes people are like, oh, I want to do, I don't know, like Harry Potter.
Yeah, right.
And then we'd be like, okay, you have to do the books and all the movies. Like you can't just do the book.
Oh.
Actually, no, maybe that's a bad example because we did do the book, just the books and just the movies.
Okay, right. Yeah.
So like The Lion King, for example, it's like that we did last season. They had to do all 3 Lion Kings plus the Broadway plus the real movie.
Okay, so if I wanted to go on, and just for context, you are a researcher.
I write questions.
A writer. Okay, cool. Right.
Which is a lot of research.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So if I was to go on, I couldn't just do season 2 of Community. It would have to be the TV show Community as a whole. Right. Okay. Right.
Yes, so I'd probably either do Essendon or I'd do the Australia's wool industry, probably.
Incredible. So you're obviously, you can't go on the show, right?
No.
Right. Okay. Cool. But
you can go.
I think I might.
You can do it, yeah.
Because I've been doing a lot of like this year. I've just gotten into trivia. Like, I think this year was the first time I literally went to a trivia night at a pub, and like, which is
it's so fun.
A lot of people are really freaked out about that. But like, it's like, oh no, I've just never done it. Like, but I really like it. Okay. So you write questions, and that's pretty much it. Like, you just write questions. You have to, if you get an application, do you like suss out the person to sort of figure out what their level of knowledge is? Yeah.
So basically, we have like the casting team. They're the ones who decide what topics and who the contestants are that are going to be on the show. Right. And then at the start of a week, we'll be assigned a topic. And then we basically watch the person's audition tape to get a sense of who they are, what their special interest within the topic is, right, and what their knowledge is, and where we can sort of push it to be a little bit harder. Okay. Or where we might have to ease off a little bit. Yeah. So like I think someone did like Grey's Anatomy, and so but they were like, I know the first 6 seasons better than the last 6. Right. So we were like...
There's 12 seasons of Grey's Anatomy?
There's 19 seasons of Grey's
Holy
Anatomy.
shit.
It's still going.
My God. Is it?
Yeah. Doesn't that blow your mind?
Yeah, that's one of those shows. Yeah. It's like, that's still going. Like, but it, like for me, it's weird because it's like it's a full narrative show with like, it's essentially a soap.
It is a soap, yeah.
Because I thought it was like, it's not like a Law and Order where it's kind of like the most formulaic show ever. Yeah. You just like put people in and you can have actors play, you know, multiple roles over, because it's been going for 20 years. Yeah. But Grey's Anatomy, like, how much conflict can one character go through? And
a lot. Yeah. I think by season, like, 13, she's just like, I've had so much trauma. Yeah. And you're like, yeah. You have.
And you know so many 7 more seasons to go.
Yeah. And I'm like, how do they get any patience knowing that there's been, like, 5 doctors that have died, and there's been a shooting, and there's been fires, and there's
there's been like bombs and stuff. Yeah, I don't think I've ever watched an episode, but yeah, okay.
I love it.
Do they still have the same core?
No,
cast?
I think Meredith Grey, the lead, she's leaving now on the 19th season. This is her last, I think.
Damn.
But I think she's the last one. Oh no, maybe there's 2 or 3 that are.
Who's the hot dude? The
McDreamy.
Yeah.
He died. Spoiler alert.
Oh, damn.
He died in season 10 or 12, I think.
Jesus.
Yeah.
How'd he die? I'm not going to watch it.
Spoiler alert. He died in a car accident when saving someone. So someone else got into a car accident.
Right.
He came and saved their life, and then a car hit him, and then he was and then he was taken to a hospital where they didn't do a CT scan. Which is ironic because he is a brain surgeon.
And
and
so
he had
he's
like
the only guy that
he's the
could
only
have helped.
Yeah, and he couldn't speak because he was like half conscious or something.
Yeah.
But you could hear his like internal monologue as he was dying. It was a whole thing.
Wait, you can hear his internal monologue.
Yeah, so it's like him narrating the episode while he's dying, and he's like, check a CT, like in his mind, he's like, check the CT, but they don't.
Wait, hang on. Is that so? Okay, I've clearly never watched an episode of Grey's Anatomy, but is there always a narrator that's one of the characters?
Yeah, so every episode.
Okay, so it's not just something they did for that episode.
No.
Okay,
it's every episode is like it's like a Carrie Bradshaw type. Like Meredith is like, doctors. Sometimes the world is fast, or like something like that, and then the episode will be about like how they have to think quickly, but then in their personal life they'll also have to make a snap decision, and it's all very thematic.
Right. Okay, so
it's a really good show.
I mean,
for the first six
maybe I will watch
seasons,
it.
yeah.
Like I've seen I've seen all episodes of Scrubs.
Yep.
And like that, obviously, like it's JD's narration throughout the thing. Is that a take on that, or is that just
No.
did they happen to?
It's just a narrative device.
Yeah,
I think,
right.
Yeah, because JT's
But they started around the same time.
I think
didn't
so.
they?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
JT's is funny though.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole.
But
JD, sorry, is funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Right.
This is now a Grey's Anatomy podcast.
It is, yeah. I mean, I feel for anybody that like wanted to listen to a footy podcast,
Footy podcast.
and they were like, "Oh man, I hope they don't talk. I don't want any spoilers for season 19."
Yeah.
For Grey's Anatomy, I'm only on season 4. Oh man. Anyway, I don't know. There's a lot of crossover there. All right, cool. Well, okay, so we're coming to the towards the end, but I'm going to. This is a new segment.
Ooh.
I haven't done this before.
Yay.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I don't know how long it's going to go for, but
Okay.
we're just going to do quickfire like footy questions.
Yep.
And like first thing that comes to your mind. Like you're not allowed to second guess.
Okay.
It's just like word association.
Yep.
And we've probably already touched on some of these things, but but we can elaborate after.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
Okay. So I don't have a name for the segment either.
That's okay.
And I might add something in post, but it depends on how I'm feeling.
Yep.
All
Fair.
right. Cool. All right. You ready?
I'm ready.
Quickfire.
Okay.
Maybe that's the name of the segment.
Maybe.
Best moment as an Essendon fan?
Anzac Day, David Zaharakis kicking the goal with 9 seconds left.
Of course. Were you at the game?
Yes.
Oh, you were at the game?
Yeah.
Oh, damn. Where were you seated?
Second level in the members section at the MCG, and you couldn't hear the siren by how much we were all screaming. And I think that was the first time I jumped out of my seat screaming before I realized what was happening.
Right.
Like that's the first time I didn't realize I was cheering.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay. Worst moment as an Essendon fan?
The 2016 year as a whole, and also the Essendon Doping Saga, as they call it, the blackest day in Australian sport.
Black Sand Australian sports. Most underrated Essendon player?
Ooh, I think he's getting more hype now. Oh no, he was our best and fairest. I don't know. I was gonna say Ridley.
Okay.
And I'm like, he was our best and fairest last year. He's not an underrated player.
And doesn't have to be current. It can be any, it could be from anyone.
Yeah, I always loved Alwyn Davey Senior.
Right. Was he underrated?
I don't know.
I feel.
I'm hopeless. I
Hang
can't.
on. The
remember.
Davey.
The Suns are in now.
Yeah. So he played.
He played 100 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he lived in the shadow of Aaron Davey though, right? Is that the whole thing? Okay. Yeah.
I'm just going to keep giving you names until I give one that's not not a big name. I've completely forgotten his name.
I mean, your first answer was already Ridley, so
I know.
have to go with that.
I know.
But if you wanted to give another one, that's fine.
I just remember him. I can't remember his name right now, but he would always wear, I think it was in 2012, around that time, he'd always wear like fluoro boots. And I think we used to call him Boots. And I cannot remember his name off the top of my head.
It's gonna be one of those.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those.
It'll come back to you like later tonight, I reckon.
Exactly, yeah.
For some reason, I'm thinking of it's not him. That's not fluoro boots. I was thinking of Guelphy.
Guelphy, yeah.
Yeah.
Guelphy is good.
Does he have fluoro boots, or am I just thinking of his hair?
I think it's just his hair, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But he was
never
wearing
mind.
fluoro boots and everybody else was wearing like white or black.
Right.
Like it was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so now we're going to more general AFL stuff.
Yeah.
AFL player with the best overall vibe.
Ooh, I've forgotten his first name. Gorn.
Maxi Gorn?
Max Gorn.
Beautiful. AFL player with the worst overall vibe.
Because I hate him so much and I can't remember his name. Jordan De Goey.
Yeah, good call. We don't need to elaborate on why,
Nope.
but I think we all know. AFL player or personality that you think could legitimately be a comedian.
Ooh. Sammy Draper.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I've met him. I don't know what he's like on the mic, but he does have that vibe.
He's got
like,
that.
silly boy.
Yeah, or Joe Danaher, I think. He's got a bit of the same.
Yeah, he's got a silly boy vibe.
Yeah.
A second favourite team.
St Kilda, because that's where I grew up.
Okay.
R.I.P. to me. And I've developed a soft spot for Carlton recently.
Oh.
I know. Isn't
Why?
that crazy? Well, to be fair to me, I was dating someone for a while who was a mad Carlton supporter.
Okay.
So we'd watch the games together and he would talk about how great they were. And I was a bit like, nah, okay.
Yeah.
But they've had a rough couple of weeks.
Yeah, but it's still really funny. I don't know
Yeah.
why. I can't get past it. I don't think I'll ever be on Carlton's side.
That's fair.
Most hated team.
Collingwood, obviously.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. So how do you find them like right now in this moment? Because you still hate them?
Cannot stand them.
Really?
I know that everyone's like, oh, they're so fun to watch. They always like come
really
back.
Likable.
I know, but I'm just like, no.
Yeah,
I
okay.
don't care how good they are. I absolutely
respect
can't
that.
do it.
I respect that so hard because, like, for me, I really like them, and I'm finding it really difficult to rectify that because I'm like, I can't not like them. And it's really new for me.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. So, best thing to happen to Essendon as a result of the drug scandal. You probably already touched on it.
Anthony McDonald, Tip and Woody.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Kit Richards, thanks for coming on Kickin Gags.
Thanks so much for having me. We've had so much fun.
Yeah, well, what do we plug in? Are we plug in
Yes.
Scandal?
Yeah, so you can
Okay.
watch Scandal on YouTube.
Yeah.
You can just Google Scandal.
Yeah.
Or
I'll
you
put
can-
a link in the description.
Yeah, great.
And stuff.
You can
Yeah.
also follow me on Instagram
Yeah.
and TikTok if you want to.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Have you got something in the works for next year?
I am in thought with myself.
What does that mean?
That means that I'm thinking about. I think someone very beautifully once said that a full-length show is like deciding whether you want to get into a relationship with someone or not. It's like it's a commitment. You have to like spend a lot of time with it. You have to think about it all the time. So it's like, do you want to commit to an idea?
Right.
And I'm just like thinking, I'm dating around with
Yeah,
ideas.
yeah. Do I want something short-term? What do I want?
Yeah,
Okay, beautiful.
exactly. Yeah.
All right, we're going to leave it on that. Kit Richards, thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
All right, cheers. Bye.
Bye.
What an amazing, incredible, inspiring episode of Kickin Gags. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to the YouTube channel or, follow us on all the socials and all that sweet stuff that really helps with everything that we do. And you can always catch the latest AFL news at zerohanger.com.au. I've been Phoenix Trinidad. Good night. Goodbye. See you later.